Doctor about all your medical conditions, including immune system problems. If you've had or plan to have an organ or stem cell transplant, receive chest radiation, or have a nervous system problem.
It feels good to be here for them.
Living longer is possible. It's true. Keytruda from Merck.
And the program today will go as follows. First, we'll hear from Governor Spencer Cox. Following his remarks, we will hear from the incoming chairman and CEO of Texas Instruments, Haviv Elan. Following his remarks, following his remarks, we will do a question and answer, and then we'll conclude with a photo shoot out in the rotunda. So, Governor Cox.
Thank you, Ryan. Ladies and gentlemen, today is indeed a very special day. Haviv, thank you to you and to your incredible team who have made the trek here to Utah to be with us this momentous morning. I want to thank the Speaker and the President for their incredible support for being here. Congressman Burgess Owens, thank you for joining us. We're honored by your presence today. And to our mayor, members of our county commission, and distinguished guests, thank you for joining us. As was already mentioned, this is a huge day for Team Utah. The Texas Instruments, of course, is a global leader in semiconductor manufacturing. There's been a lot of talk about semiconductors, the CHIPS Act that recently passed Congress, and the importance of bringing supply chain back to the United States. We know as we went through the pandemic, we realized how important supply chains are to our state and to our nation, to our national security, and to just our ability to drive cars and buy stuff. And we know that if there is anything that you have that turns on and off, there's a very good chance that there is a TI chip in there somewhere. TI has a site in Lehi, formerly known as the Micron site, just 30 miles from here, which ramped up to production late last year. There are lots of chips being made right here in Utah that are powering electronics around the world, and there are going to be a lot more chips to come. So we want to thank all of you for joining us for this exciting announcement. Just to try to put into perspective what an $11 billion investment is for our state, that is more than double. In fact, it's almost 3 times the greatest economic investment made in a state by a single company. It's hard for me to put that into perspective, but it just goes to show the real commitment that the Texas Instruments has in investing in Utah for their future. This is not something that is just going to benefit us for a year or two. This is something that is going to benefit us for generations to come. And as was mentioned, these are good jobs. These are great jobs for the people of Utah. We are so grateful that TI is thriving and looking here. I want to especially thank everyone who has been involved in this process. And it is a process, both on the TI side, on the local government side, at the state government side, as we have worked hard to recruit. Utah was not their only option. And so it matters that they chose us. We want to thank our federal partners as well for working on legislation to make this moment possible. Again, to make sure that more advanced manufacturing is moving back to the United States. And Utah has positioned itself, again, thanks to our chambers of commerce and everybody involved, Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity, our board. Thank you to our board members who have worked so hard. There were decisions made long before I became governor and long before this legislature convened that made it possible for this day to happen. In fact, there were decisions and opportunities made 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago that have led us to this moment. And so to past governors, to past speakers, past presidents, past chambers of commerce, past investors in our state, I want to say a special thanks to all of you for the work that you did to lead us to this moment. And again, mostly I want to thank TI for this incredible partnership that will benefit their business and our state immeasurably. It is now my honor to introduce Haviv Elan to the stage to spend a little minute talking to us, and then we will together take some questions, if that's okay, Haviv. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Governor Cox, and thank you all for being here today as we celebrate the start of a new chapter in TI's history here in Utah. As Governor Cox mentioned, Texas Instruments is thrilled to announce that we have selected Lehi, Utah as the site for our next 300-millimeter wafer fab. With the anticipated growth of semiconductors in electronics, particularly in industrial and automotive, and the passage of the CHIPS and Science Act, there is no better time to invest in semiconductor manufacturing. And with this additional capacity, we will put a lot more silicon into the silicon slopes. We have been in Lehi for the past 14 months now, and I can say that the team has quickly become a crowd favorite. Since we acquired the site in Lehi, we have continued to invest in the existing fab by purchasing tools and equipment to help us manufacture the chips our customers need. We have a talented team in place, and our decision to build a second fab in Lehi underscores our commitment to Utah. Lehi is a great location for our next fab because of its access to skilled talent, robust existing infrastructure, and strong community partners. It has been great being part of the Lehi community, and we are excited to continue growing here. Speaking of the community, we can't do this alone. I would like to thank some of the people who have made this announcement possible. First, to Governor Cox and his team, and to Lieutenant Governor Henderson, thank you for your partnership and support. I would like to acknowledge and thank Lehi Mayor Mark Johnson, the Lehi City Council, the Utah County Commissioners, the Alpine School District, and all of the regional elected officials who worked together and partnered with TI to make this project successful. It's taken a lot of hard work to get us here today, and we are just getting started. We are counting on partnership from all of you to make this site successful for decades to come. At Texas Instruments, our passion is to create better world by making electronics more affordable through semiconductors. The new fab will produce tens of millions of analog and embedded processing chips every single day. That will be used in electronics everywhere. Each of us can see the growth of electronics in our everyday lives, from the safety system in your car, the thermostat or appliance in your home, to the smart medical devices monitoring your health. And TI's semiconductor technology is at the heart of these advancements. In my job, I get to talk with a lot of our customers, and they are very excited about TI's manufacturing roadmap. This investment is part of a long-term strategy to build manufacturing capacity, providing our customers with the chips they will need for decades to come. Again, I want to thank everyone who is here today. Thank you for the elected officials who have partnered with us, and thank you, my TI team. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. Let's go build a wafer fab. Thank you.
Well, thank you both. We appreciate that. And at this time, we'd like to turn the time over to you for any questions that you may have.
What kind of tax breaks, if any, were extended or being given to make this possible, Governor?
Absolutely. So I can take that one. So we have a post-performance tax credit called the EdTIF. We extended an offer of 30% of new taxes that the company will pay over 20 years in the form of a refundable tax credit. I do have that number, and I can get that with you. I will say that the investment's significant, and so we just capture a percentage of that investment and redeem it back to the company. Let me get that number to you after this meeting.
How many jobs are we talking?
We're talking 800 jobs.
Yes.
We're speaking of 800 jobs. These are high-tech, well-paying jobs that we will add here, plus a lot of jobs that will be created to support our investment here.
And what's your current workforce there with the crew you've got right now?
It's higher than 1,000, about 1,100 people right now here in Lehi, and we love the team.
So 800 additional on top.
Correct.
Yeah. We are developing that workforce. So as this manufacturing process happens, this will be over the next 3 years until completion, 3 to 4 years. We'll be working to develop that workforce. We have new young people graduating every day, and a need for these types of jobs. We'll be working to upskill our workforce as well, existing workforce. Again, getting these better jobs, these higher paying jobs. This will be huge for our growing workforce as we move forward. Great question. Yeah, so that's been a topic of discussion from the very beginning with TI. There's a lot of work happening in this space. Mayor Johnson and his team, the water is available, so that's the good news. And TI is working very hard on the design phase of this to make sure that they will be using less water, be able to reuse that water in the process, so water is not being lost. And we feel very good about the projections around the water usage and the existing water in that system right now. Again, we appreciate the work that has been done with the local district, the water district as well, who have been very involved in these discussions. I don't know if we have those estimates right with us. Yeah.
But to be clear, Governor, for the future, if the drought continues another 10, 20 years, whatever, who knows?
Yeah.
Do you believe the water is there, not just today?
We do. We really do. Again, especially with the work that is happening in the legislature and the changes that we're making. We've been looking at water consumption, changing water consumption with what we've learned over the past 2 summers as Utahns have shown an ability to use significantly less water, and looking at our growth projections. And we really do believe that we can grow, we can conserve our way to about 1 million people in growth. And that includes industry and the growth that's happening in industry. So again, we have to be smarter about the way we use our water, and that's why we're investing so much in these changes. That's why we're investing what we believe will be, at the end of this session, over $1 billion in 2 years in water conservation, so that we can continue to make sure that this is a place where our kids and grandkids can live, and a place where industry can continue to thrive. Dan Hemmert, is that you? I need to give a special thanks to Dan Hemmert for his work in this space as well, the former director of the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity.
Yeah. So Shannon, it's above 100K, I think, the average job. 110. Okay. Look, as I said before, we've been operating here in Utah for the past 14 months, and we are learning. And we've been in the industry for more than, TI has been there for more than 90 years. We have many fabs around the world, but the team here has shown us everything about innovation, raising the bar, finding solutions. We are taking some of the learning towards our other factories in Texas and beyond. And we're very impressed. We did have other options, and I think the talent we have here was a big factor. The second thing is community. We felt the support along the process. We felt that we can do business here for many decades to come. As I said, we've been around for 9 years. We want to stay there at least that, that period. So we are thinking about a long-term investment. And the combination of these 2 elements, really the support of the community and the talented folks that we've discovered here, is what really tilted the decision towards making the investment here.
Last question? If there's one more, it's your last chance. All right, we'll call it then, right? Thank you. Thanks everyone for coming, and again, congratulations.